Hello, everyone, and welcome to ZSR. Today we have another A Link to the Past randomizer Challenge Cup match here. Group AB between Adilor and Tenit. I'm starting with me on commentary as Sorcerer Finch. How are you doing?
I am doing fantastic today, Star. How are you doing today?
Doing well. Looking forward to a good race. Got ourselves two racers here, Adilor versus Tenit. Looking at our stats page, Adilor the more experienced of our runners, although I believe you know Tenit pretty well, being former league teammates.
That is correct. Tenit was one of the teammates that we had for the Open League this past season. This should be a pretty good matchup, and this is also a really important matchup for Group AB as well. Adilor being 3-0, Tenit 0-2. But there's a lot of movement. If Adilor wins, I believe that does guarantee Adilor does advance to the next stage. Tenit does need to win this one, but yeah, this should be exciting.
Yep, should be a good one. They should be starting soon. We have ourselves a tournament hard mode today.
Yep, so we're going to see a lot of heart pieces, non-progressive bows, so we might see the silver arrows much earlier than the actual bow. And it looks like we are just getting underway.
Yep.
In just a couple seconds. But yeah, this should be a... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, yeah, this should be a good race between these two. Looking very forward to see kind of how our racers handle this tournament hard mode. And we actually start out with some divergence between the two. It looks like a piece of heart in Link's house and a fighter shield up in Sanctuary. That's going to be the only shield that we see this seed.
And got ourselves two red crystals on Eastern and Desert and a pendant on Hera.
Right, and so that's going to be that pendant of power, that blue pendant of power for Link to the Past. This is going to be a pretty interesting, a nice bit of divergence kind of from the beginning. Just a couple hearts from that tree pool, though. Yep. Over on Adilor's side.
You might see another shell, to be fair, because there are 3 places and only one available, I think, as we see just some arrows off the Uncle.
Ooh, but that's a nice nice crab right there with the bombs. And just a piece of heart over in the Uncle chest over there.
Yep. We have a Kirby's theme, MSU, I think. Kirby, let me reread the thing again. Kirby Superstar, I can't read my own. I think, no, that's, Adilor's got Kirby Superstar. Raymond Legends what Tenet's got, and I'm a Scatterbrain.
That's all right. And Adilor saving quitting and going towards the Sanctuary side as well, so did pick up that fighter shield. Meanwhile, Tenit is making her way into the Lost Woods.
In other news, we have an Aga required seed. That is a moon pearl on the Lumberjack Ledge. Whoa.
And tournament hard is already, and that's not necessarily a tournament hard thing, but it feels like it.
Of course, a tournament hard seed is going to have some harder things to do. It's like our first sword in the Lost Woods.
That will be pretty nice, and we know we're going to be finding lamp and either another sword or a cape coming up soon.
Yep, because that is a required Aga. To note that only Tenit checked that, and Adilor did not. We'll eventually have to do it at some point, but it might be a bit.
Right, at least, yeah, because once Tenit gets the item, she'll be able to immediately, like, take care of Aga and just get it over with. Adilor, kind of depending on the rest of the item layouts, that might be more closer to a last location, so that could prove to be in Tenet's favor.
It could. Do you recognize what sprite that is for Tenit? We've got a Sobble from Pokemon Generation 8 on Adilor's side.
Oh, okay. So I don't recognize Tenet's offhand. It's a sprite.
It's got extremely yellow hair, I can tell that much, or a yellow head covering of some type, at least.
A little bit of, actually, that money, and that's where half magic would have been if we weren't playing tournament hard. That small, that small magic pot right there, being placed instead of the half magic.
Yep.
And meanwhile, let's just get a couple more heart pieces while we're at it. From these chests as well. Tenit also does have except there are bombs in here, so both of our racers will be pretty good with bombs, and I think Adilor might have also gotten a handful of bombs as well from there. And there's already our fourth heart piece right there. And fifth. There are 48 plays, so we're gonna find plenty of heart pieces.
Speaking of this, yet another one, and absolutely nothing more besides some more money. Okay, game. Okay.
And that's actually kind of interesting. We're already looking at. Oh, and speaking of swords that we need for Aga, all we need is a lamp and boots also. Boots will have to be required as well in order to get that moon pearl.
Yep.
So, good news. We're going to find the boots soon.
Yes, we will.
But so actually, Star, out of curiosity, we're sitting at around 350 to 380 rupees. Do you go and try to do Houlihan and try to see if Zora has anything early out of logic?
Quite possible. I mean, they're not far off anyhow. Between their southward chip might well get them pretty close too, honestly.
Also, I guess with boots being early, library's probably got a better chance of having. Never mind. Yep. Piece of heart.
Could have, but no.
Could have, but no. That's randomizer for you.
Yes, it is. Two swords is nice to have early, though.
Right, and especially because when you defeat Aghanim, the light world becomes much more perilous. So yeah, that'll help out a good amount.
Yeah. So that is definitely not Chip from Beauty and the Beast on the left. That is the Pokemon Sobble, the Water-type starter Pokemon from Generation 8, the Galar game, from the Galar region, Pokemon Sword and Pokemon Shield. I still have no idea what that is on Tenet's side. It is a sprite with a bright yellow head, and that's about, in the blue clothing, and that's about all I can say.
All right, and Tenit going into the dam. Going to go ahead and check out what was flooded first before going back in and getting the dam chest.
Yep. Just another heart piece, and another heart piece.
Right, so either way, we've gotten a lot of heart pieces early on. That was our 8th already.
Yep.
All right, and we're getting our first look at Mini Moldworm Cave, which, with sword beams, this is actually very, very nice. It's nice to be able to save all your bombs and just take care of it.
Yep. Alright. More heart pieces, and some bombs. And another heart piece, and the cape. Thanks.
All right, so that was, 3 heart pieces, bombs, and a cape.
Yep. Cape would have been nicer if we hadn't already found masks.
Although it does open up Bumper Ledge once we make our way up there, and Adilor opting to save and quit out. We'll see which direction Adilor opts to go. Front of escape.
North? Yep. Choosing to skip by his toward cave for now.
Meanwhile, Tenit will be giving us that check. And going to have to be a little careful. I mean, the good news is that Full Hearts can take 2 hits from crabs. Can't take 3, but we'll see what we got up here.
Oh, could you turn yourself down a bit? You are a smidge loud as we get $50 from Ice Rod Cave.
I can go ahead and do that. Please stay tuned.
Yeah, this is the first time hearing any. That is better.
All right, good deal. So I just missed what was in the what was in that first chest?
First chest is something I entirely forgot. So useless, because it's also marked using on the tracker. No, was it? That was the map. Thank you.
Oh, okay. Thank you. All right, and a little bit more divergence. Tenet's going to go ahead and head towards Eastern Palace. Nice 3 items here. And there's the Ice Rod. So the good news is we're probably not going to be on an Ice Rod hunt.
Not for the Ice Rod hunt. We might be in a similar hunt for something different as to get flippers from Saha's hut.
Yep,
and
so
300 rupees more, so, well, speaking of Zora...
Right, that puts a waterfall fairy, and everything up there, and that was also 300 rupees. So that's looking not too bad right there. Going ahead and
so Tenet's gonna go straight over there. Also, I have never heard of Raymond Legends. Oh, that's a bow on the lake island, by the way. I've never heard of Raymond Legends, but I think this MSU is pretty nice.
Wait, and you said a bow, so that's not just any bow, that's the only bow with the non-progressive, because it's non-progressive, so we're going to find silver separately.
That is true. They will definitely need that mirror to go with those flippers for it.
Yep, and meanwhile, Tenit is going to go ahead and give us... oh, and that's a... Yep, and there is AGA access.
You know, the question is, when does I think Tenet's at least going to finish off the water checks because she's already here, but like, she might honestly go straight over there. Doesn't have mountain access, doesn't have desert access. You know where your bow is, so Eastern's not great. Though at the same time, you also don't have much of anything else to do with that moon pearl. We'll see what's on the water checks, I guess.
Right, and yeah, without boots, we won't be able to. We won't really be able to do that, but oh, and that's a good point. Boots could be on the pyramid.
They could be. That would be rude, but they could be. Wonderful fairy, heart piece, and hey, there's a glove.
I love the power glove. It's so bad.
And that is also very limited and very not fun mountain access.
Right. Although at least with the lamp, it is logical.
It is. And this MSU is great as we see Zora Ledge has a big Quake medallion today.
Yeah, I think that the only thing I know about Raymond Legends is that's also where the Rabbids, I believe the game series where the Rabbids also come into play.
Yeah, I have never heard of the game until today, as we get a shroom of all things off Zora. Okay.
Well, that's a fun fetch quest, but it's one of those. At least you get it early.
At least you get it early. Gonna see Quake and probably a save put into a save scum of the shroom. Adilor, having also now picked up his flippers, is off to the water checks.
Although, and again, this is where that knowledge on AGA being required will come into play. Now, at this point, because Adilor is about to pick up that lamp as well, so that is going to set off some alarm bells that I've got Aga access right now.
That can't be that exists at least, has to be on his mind. Alright, let's see if the shroom is worth it today. That is, because those are some boots.
I'd say that was pretty worth it right there. I don't think we're going to be save scumming those boots.
No, they will not.
And hey, what do you know? Zora paying out.
Zora actually paying off today. Not a scam.
So, okay, so we're going to see back of escape here, and then save and quit into and go ahead and take care of Aghanim, I believe.
I think so at this point. That is your Dark World access. That is Moon Pearl. I know we do so many things in the Dark World as we can. Oh, hey, Bugnet. But that Aga is our first Dark World access, as well as our access to that Pearl.
Yeah. Now, do you think Tenit will go ahead and do the front of escape, or do the front of escape first, and then?
Possible. There's not a lot of checks available in either world at the moment, besides Eastern in front of escape right now. There's only a couple things on the mountain. Can't do desert. Can do maybe a couple things in Pod, couple things in Eastern. It's not the greatest checklist in the world. Oh, Gina, I guess. Doing Uncle and Uncle chest here tells me Tenet's probably thinking about front as well. As Adilor gets his Quake.
And we'll see where Adilor goes, if Adilor goes to turn in that mushroom.
That is a safe quit to the sink.
And I'm actually not sure if which way is quicker. Although with the Power Glove, this could also be checking back of escape right here. So, and that is what Adilor is going to go ahead and do right now.
Yep. Only Tenit has checked the Lumberjack Ledge. That is their Moon Pearl today. Adilor has not seen it yet. He will find that out one way or the other eventually.
Right. It will happen, but Tenit playing with some with that knowledge, that's going to be pretty important.
Yep. And this looks like a shroom turn in now for Adilor. I'd guess likely Eastern after this for density. Possibly the mountains, since not a lot available in either place due to a lack of a bow and lack of hookshot or mirror.
Right. It only opens up a couple spots. I guess the big advantage is it would get you the new save and quit location.
It would.
But yeah, it just kind of depends on when do you want to do that.
Here's boots for Adilor.
And unfortunately for Tenit, that was a fourth heart piece. So.
Oh no! Having to take some extra time to death warp.
Right. Now, is this going to be a Lumberjack Ledge check for Adilor? I wonder, or will it be Mountain?
Well, Bonk Rocks I forgot exist. Whoops.
Yep, and Tenit is going to go ahead and make the Aga play right now. Oh, there's going to be our bottle.
Yep.
And while all 4 bottles are placed, only one is going to be found. It'll start off empty. The rest of the bottles will turn into junk. And this is good news for Adilor right now, because Adilor is going to get that knowledge that, hey, you got to go to Aghanim.
Vortex, it's the map on Dark Cross, and Tenit knows that. As Adilor gets the bad news, great. already here, so gonna go climb the mountain and get the save quit.
Although, yeah, so the map was
the... may not be. I'm scared of yeah, Adler definitely did a double take at that. I'm in for a, like, wave. Did I just see that? I wouldn't be overly thrilled either. 18 minutes is a little late to spot a pearl there. Oh yeah, never mind, yeah. Tenit can go back for Dark Cross if she wants later. I think I'm just being scatterbrained. Nah.
That's alright. And, but yeah, Tenit going ahead and just 20 rupees from Old Man. And only one scoutable check and one obtainable check. If Adilor wanted, Adilor could go ahead and also get the rest of the crystal pendant information, but that might not be needed quite yet. Just 10 arrows up there.
And nothing there.
So this might be, Adilor might be following Tenit to go do Aghanim right now.
Yeah, having gotten the bad news that Ag is required is going to do that now. Pretty decent climb so far for Tenit. So how many blue balls do you think we'll get today?
Let's see. From a number from 0 to 15, I'm gonna say we're gonna have 4. That's gonna be my guess today. How about you, Star? What do you think?
Oh, hey, you took my guess. I'll go with 3.
All right. So you're taking the. I guess you know the over under is 3.5 then. All right, and here we go. We have the Aghanim 1 fight. Just take 6 hits for Aghanim to go down. Attack patterns of 5. The first one is always reflectable. There is a non-reflectable blue balls shot right there, and there's already number 2.
The highest guess we've got in chat is a whopping 12.
All right, so that was 2 so far, and 2 hits out of the 6 needed.
Now 3 hits out of the 6, and 4, and blue ball number 3.
So you're gonna win, as that was number 5, and the first one is always reflectable.
Indeed.
All right, and Aga goes down, but only for now.
Yep, we'll see him later at the very end of the scene. That is a buddy sprite. I still have no idea what that is, but that is a sprite.
And all right, so we have red pendant at Swamp and green pendant on Ice Palace, and everything else is a regular crystal. We're gonna need that ice rod is going to be required. And also, congratulations to EMP Any Amount of Money for also guessing 3 blue balls, and congratulations to you too, Star.
Thanks. So this is the Moon Pearl pickup as well as Bonkrot, I'd assume, for Tenit, and then where is she going?
Is she Dark Cross? Yeah.
Someone in chat thinking that Tenit's bunny sprite looks like a red wax Crayola. I thought it looked more like a floor sign of some type, because something about the blue clothing and yellow head there is making me think more and more of a construction worker's outfit now that I think about it, though I still can't tell. It does look a little bit like a hard hat, though it's so pixelated I really can't be sure what it actually is. No one in chat seems to be able to tell either. And yeah,
Well,
I'd
we'll
agree.
find it out.
Mirror and Eastern does seem reasonably possible. I mean, their progression has to be somewhere.
Right, and once getting that Moon Pearl, that does it does open up a little bit with the flippers that can get you. Yeah, because although we only have the Power Glove, we don't have the we don't have a hammer or Titan's Mitts, so it's going to be a this is going to be kind of an interesting spot. But there is another bottle. Tenit might go ahead and turn that in. I don't know. What do you think?
It is an option I'd forgotten about. Alright, that's Akadan for Adilor for now, and this bunny sprite is a see-through Sobble here.
Looks like it's a ghost type Pokemon.
Ghost types usually aren't transparent.
And at 23.55, Tenit does get that Moon Pearl.
Yep. But it's always interesting to see with ALttPR how the different sprites change with the male upgrades in the bunny sprite. First, it's Tournament Hard. We're not seeing the males today, but we did get to see both bunnies. And no one in chat is still 100% certain what that sprite actually is on Tenet's side. If she comes in for an interview, I'd like to ask. Yeah, like for Pokemon sprites, I don't know if Sobble's what Sobble's male upgrades are, but oftentimes Pokemon sprites will either be evolutions or they'll be the shiny form in an alternate color form. So I'm not sure if Sobble is Sobble in its shiny form in a different one, or Sobble in its evolutions. Because I don't happen to know offhand. Sobble's evolutions being Drizzile and Inteleon.
And today I learned.
I actually had to look up Drizzile's name because I forgot. Whoops, my starter in Pokemon Shield was a Grookey.
It's okay.
But, Inteleon is quite memorable. I also get the Loopy off Second.
Alright, and let's check that Adilor is done versus Tenit. And even though Tenit did finish the Aghanim fight much earlier than Adilor, it was less than a minute difference between the Moon Pearl pickup. Now, a lot of that was Tenit also going and checking Dark Cross and Bonk Rocks as well. So there was a bit additional work there.
Yeah, it looks like they're both now just cleaning up some overall. This is Catfish for Tenit and Nagina for Adilor.
Catfish, like, yeah, that's... It is a bit of a trek. All right, and just scouting a heart piece on the desert ledge. But yeah, this is an isolated check.
Having already
Otherwise.
done Zora, this is your only. You're not going to get a good chance to do this.
Right. Especially when right now it's a pretty significant time investment to go over to just a heart piece over in Agina's cave.
Yeah, this is a bit of a trip. That pays off. That's a pair of mitts on the Catfish.
Well, there's some nicer Dark World access. That's Village of Outcasts available now.
Yes, it is. Adilor, I think, is sprinting on off to go do Ice Rock Cave now. Having orphaned these two remote southern locations, is now backtracking for them both. King's Doom first for Tenit makes sense.
Yep. Just gotta watch out for the pose in here. Actually, kind of interesting because I guess these pose appear in both the light and dark worlds. Are there other enemies that do that?
I am not sure, honestly. Nothing on King's Tomb. We'll see where Adilor goes next. They've put into the Lynx house.
And Tenit is going to go ahead and go to the village of Outcast. Well, check that bottle first, and then going to go ahead and just get the bloopy, and then going to go ahead and go to village of Outcasts.
I think it's probably kind of useful for both runners in some ways, or at least it's been particularly useful for Tenit to know that the bow is on Lake Island, so she's holding off on that on the Eastern and Pond until she can find the bow, hopefully, or mirror for that.
Now,
so
as a
far
question,
seems to be working. It sent her to her mitts, where Adilor is heading for Pond now.
Right. So, and not only are we bow locked, I don't think Adilor has picked up any potion, has he?
No, because I think he found his bottle. Because bottle was behind the mitts behind the boots in the potion shop.
Because yeah, I guess if Adilor can mimic clip, that could allow for a couple more checks here in pod, but
very possible he gets bow locked out immediately here.
Right, we'll go ahead and see.
Run of Skull Woods in the meantime for Tenit. Key and a compass, and that is a key for Adilor, so can continue. There's the Burna, okay. Well, that's both safeties.
Yep. My goodness, that is some kind of cane right there. Tenit taking a little bit of a dip, so we'll have to traverse this area. Just falling right there. It's very nice when completely unprompted enemies just decide to fall in that pit right there.
Yeah.
That is another key for Adilor as well.
Yes, it is.
And that is correct. This is not a key sanity. This is a tournament hard race. So the main differences are going to find a lot of heart pieces. 48, I believe, in total. Only 3 swords are going to be obtainable. Only 1 shield is going to be obtainable. We're not going to find any armor upgrades. No half magic. We already saw the sad small magic pot that shows where the half magic would have been.
So that was a map in the southwest basement of Pods, which does tell us that the back of Pod is logically bow-locked. Since you are logically going to have a minimum of 4, there are 6 checks in the front of Pod, minimum 4 which must have keys to get to the back, and we only saw 3, I believe.
Right. And meanwhile, that is item number 2 for Tenit, so that's at least everything out for now for Skullwoods. There are no items in the back. Tenit just opting to go ahead and just leave instead of getting wall mastered.
Pod so far has been a few keys and not a whole lot else. Oh, there's the hook shot.
Oh my goodness. Well, and
I say that there hasn't been much then.
So now where's the mirror? Because mirror will get us the bow, and that'll get us to here. And also, Adilor setting up a hammer jump here to clip into that rail, to bomb himself over into that rail, and be able to save the key.
Yep, that is a point from chat though that might pull Adilor away from his mitts a bit, because that is West Dark World access as well as East Death Mountain access. Adilor. Village now for Tenit. There's the big key. There's a shovel.
Oh, well, there's another fetch. We've already had one fetch quest pan out pretty nicely so far, so we'll see if that continues.
Indeed.
Before this race, we were joking a little bit about how the main tournament qualifiers. Oh, and there's Ether Medallion there for Adilor. We were joking a little bit on how the tournament qualifiers, there always seem to be some sort of progression in Graveyard Ledge, and I for one am very curious if that's going to be the case. And
ooh, that's a flute in the brewery. Speaking of things that are appearing, that's a lot.
Right.
Adilor is now sprinting off to Eastern, which is a bit of a feels bad, because at the rate we're going, it looks like... I'm wondering where that mirror is, because this is some major efficiency losses for Adilor at the moment.
Right. Now, this could pay out if mirror is in Eastern. However, Tenet's going to be able to make kind of all of these Dark World checks that Adilor really can't make yet without those Titansmiths at Catfish.
Yeah, and Catfish, I mean, Adilor knows that he'll eventually have to find his logic. He knows that that hookshot is not in, and he knows his mirror needs to be somewhere, but if he tracks down that mirror soon, that could just set him further away from those minutes as he gets a red rupee in the first check of Eastern. Also,
needs to be careful, because at half a heart, that is for almost for everything except for the rats. That is one hit KO mode.
Yes, it is. Needs to be careful. It does have a shield. What that does. Well, unfortunately, Tenit will have to leave some checks behind here on the way, not having a mirror, but what can he do? Heart container off Stumpy.
Oh, and check out that Sanctuary Heart. The only heart container in the game to restore all of your hearts in one go.
Yep.
Yeah, so not only is it... And on one hand, while it's 48 pieces of heart, I think it's only 5 heart containers. It's either 4 or 5. Correct. And
well, let's see. Math. Let's do some math. Start with 3 hearts. 48 heart containers divided by 4 equals 12 hearts. 12 plus 3 is 15, which leaves 5 heart containers. As you get $300 off the Hype Cave and NPC.
22 bombs, and there's
number 2, and that's bombos as well as some money.
So we have knowledge of all of our medallions. That's gonna, I mean, for Adilor and Tenit separately, just thinking about, okay, where's the third one for both required Mire and Turtle Rock, but Tenet's gonna do Pod at some point. Adilor's gonna do Hype Cave at some point, so they'll be fine.
They will be. It reminds me that technically they do have Mire area access with the flute and wits. Not the most amusing Mire area access, but they do have it.
Right. And I think this is going to be that play for Adilor to go check Catfish now, having pretty much run out of all the other checks available.
Basically, at least in logic. No, could hookshot over, but it's going to do this before hookshotting over across the bridge. Yeah, this is a logical last location for Adilor.
Yeah, and on Tenet's side, showing just how the world changes, because all of those guards are way quicker than it feels. And to answer a question in the chat as well, this is from Raymond Legends.
Yes, it is. As Adilor finally gets his mitts. And the Smiths are just 10 arrows. This will be the flute activation for Tenit next.
And then, let's see, where do you go from here? You can check Mire area. You can check Mire.
I never even heard of the game until I heard that this was an MSU lol, Anthony, so... Yeah, Yappin'? Sorry.
Alright, so we'll go ahead and see where Tenit flutes to. And this might be an Agina's Cave check here as well as... Yeah, this is going to be Agina's Cave. And then might flew back and do Mire Shed. Or could...
Mire Shed, Checkerboard, not Checkerboard, doesn't have Mirror either, so it can't do Desert, which I was thinking about vaguely, but...
Yeah, at this point, and fortunately between the two runners, we are starting to run pretty low on checks at this point.
Hammerless Thieves is looking like a solid play at the rate we're going right now.
And actually, that's a good point, because I don't believe Tenit went into Thieves Town or dipped into Thieves Town yet. And we are going to get the Mire Shed play, it looks like here. As well as knowledge for what is... do we need which medallion do we need? Which of the... We're going to have all the medallions by the end. And we need Quake, which was the very first one that we got.
Yep. And there's the hammer, speaking of.
All right, and with that hammer, that unlocks a little bit more. And we're going to go ahead and... let's see where Tenit goes from here. With that hammer, Thieves Town does feel a little bit better. And it looks like that might be where Tenit is going to be heading. Now we'll go ahead and see if Adilor goes ahead and does Thieves Town first. One potential issue at play is what is in the Thieves Town big chest. It might not have an item. It might not have an important item. But it could be, and I think we've seen plenty of races where Thieves Town big chest has been incredibly important.
Oh, it can be. Commented an open hard mode earlier this week that took an hour and 52 minutes to beat, where among other things, they was a pretty last location bow in that big chest of thieves.
Oof.
Among some other trolly things that happened that seed, it does say something when an open hard seed takes an hour and 52 minutes.
Right. Well, and especially considering... Oh, and there's the Tempered Sword. That is going to be the best sword that we find in this seed.
Yes, it is. Especially considering what?
Especially... Yeah, that's gonna feel good, especially considering it's gonna be the best... Yeah, it's gonna be the best that we find.
Yep. Shovel now for Adilor, which we know gets them just some arrows, I believe, was what was on the shovel spot.
Yep, just 10 arrows. However, that brewery, on the other hand... And actually, if you're Adilor, you pretty much last located not only Moon Pearl, but also the mitts. Do you try to risk Thieves Town without the hammer?
Maybe. It's not as bad to get back with the meat flute he just got, but also you've already lost time and you know it. And it does like he's gonna head straight in.
All right, and we'll go ahead and again, there might not be anything. We have not found the key yet, so while we might be logically hammer locked, that would only be the case if the small key was in the big chest.
Yep.
And
probably won't care that much if it is hammer locked.
Right, because logically hammer lock still means you got all four items out.
Yeah, but he knows his hammer's gotta show up soon anyhow. It's not a huge deal if it doesn't show up right now. For him, from his perspective right now at the moment.
Right, and besides, then there's Tempered Sword. Although one other kind of note, so that is now 8 hearts for Adilor, versus 10 for Tenit. One of the other things about Tournament Hard mode is we're not going to find green mail.
You mean blue mail?
Or sorry, we're not going to find blue mail. We're going to find we have green mail on. We're not going to find red. We're not going to find blue. We're going to be taking a lot of damage if you get hit. So thank you for checking me there.
Brain happens.
Yeah. I mean, I tried to catch fog, but I missed. I appreciate Blind's jokes. But especially here where like this room gets very chaotic, especially but Tenit going ahead and taking down Blind. And for
just rendering.
Yep, but at 43 minutes, that's our first crystal.
First dungeon period, even. Not because they weren't drawing, that's just genuinely the first dungeon that's been beatable today.
Right.
Can't do Eastern, can't do Pod, don't have access to Hera, or Desert, or any of the other dungeons to beat. Although, okay, Bombos does put ice into play. Hammerless, caneless ice.
And logically, you don't have the hook shot yet.
Hammerless, caneless, hookshot, logically hookshotless ice. Which I should add is also the green pendant. It's an absolutely terrible idea, but it does exist.
And with every other race, chat wins. Okay, Adilor was in one-hit KO territory right there. But with the knowledge of that, Compass right there does know that while we are hammerlocked, we used our keys the best way we could, so we don't really need that small key in the big chest.
This logic assumes that you are a bit of a goof and use your keys in the worst way possible, so you somehow take the key from the hallway and use it on that door instead.
It is pretty nice where, you know, just like this is already an incredible game. The original Link to the Past game being over 30 years, or it just hit 30 years old. Just being able to have so much fun with it 30 years later is an incredible feeling. And at 45 minutes 4 seconds, Adilor does also pick up that first crystal.
Yeah.
And
this is a very long trip for just Spike Cave here for Tenit.
It is, but also
they pay off. I mean, their checks kind of suck right now at the same time.
Right. Well, and we already saw all we could from Pod and Eastern, and there was no mirror. This might be the play.
It
in
might
logic.
Be. Nope, just the heart piece. So what is left? We've seen Pod, we've seen Eastern, we can't get to Hera, we can't get to Desert, we've seen Skullwoods.
We got Ice.
We can't get into Swamp. We could try Meyer.
You are right. Meyer is accessible. It's not completable, but that is 2 items.
Yeah, it does like first, and it's gonna do Pod having just purchased a potion. But or maybe this is Ice.
Yeah.
Making Saga for absolutely atrociously terrible options, deciding Ice is the one to go for. Because their options really do suck. They've got keyless, hookshotless, hammerless. They've got keyless, hookshotless. Well, they do now have a hammer at least, but keyless, hookshotless Ice is not fun. Caneless Meyer is also not fun, and so that's about it.
Right. Now, on the plus side, we're gonna be seeing a bomb jump, the Ice Palace bomb jump here, which without that Cane of Samaria, which I'm sure Cane of Samaria will end up being like in the chest, in that chest, the big key chest.
Because the game loves to do that. It's like, you wanted this earlier? How about there?
And one of the good things, and we can, well, out of logic, we can, I guess it might depend on key layout, but we'll be able to complete Ice Palace. Might be a little bit more out of logic without the hook shot, but
I mean, our progression has to be somewhere, and we're running fast out of checks. We've seen Smith Chain, we've see. Yeah, hookshot is in the back of pod, which is bow locked. Ether is also bow locked in the back of, logically bow locked in the back of pod, though Ether currently does a jack all for us. Yeah, we're running out of stuff to do.
And Tenit, going ahead, get those bombs, because we're going to be trying to bomb ourselves across a gap here for the Ice Palace bomb jump. Before Icebreaker was invented, and Icebreaker is still a relatively new tech, I suppose, at this point. It's, what, a year or two?
Yeah, it's relatively recent, yeah. Hookshot isn't harmless hellway, to be specific, and as far as what this sprite is for Tenit, nobody knows.
Right, so, and I think we did get a confirmation. This sprite is not on the, this is a custom sprite right here.
It is not on the website, interestingly. Thank you, Super Malmo World, for checking that. Scrolling through all the several hundred options on the site to check this.
And also, great job to Tenit on getting that first try Ice Palace bomb jump.
Indeed.
And there's the 10 arrows for Adilor. And yeah, we are going to go ahead and get go this way on Tenit's side. We're going to be... I don't think we've seen the big key yet.
I don't believe so, as we thought there's this freezers, and this will be a hammer for Adilor now. There it is.
There it is.
Never mind.
All right, and Tenit is going to go ahead and opt to go check the big chest first.
Fine, it's just a compass.
And yeah, it's one of the newest actually useful glitches, but maybe new is relative.
Yeah, Adilor not going to go over to Paradox in such area, despite having the hookshot. Having just been up on the mountain. Wonder where he's off to next.
And I would imagine that's because of the knowledge that hookshot isn't in logic yet. The mirror should be earlier than that. So, but yeah, we don't quite know where that mirror is quite yet.
No, we do not. We're running fast out of places for it as ice physics get the better part of Tenit there. Alright, Ice Tea, just having a small key. I am extremely terrible at Ice Palace key logic, so I've got no idea what it looks like right now. I think we're missing the map and one key, question mark? I have no idea, and really, I'm not actually sure. I know I think you saw the compass earlier.
Oh, but we are locked by the hookshot, however. But we're going to go ahead and do this bomb jump to climb right back up so that we can cross over to the right-hand side of Ice Palace. There we go. Because the other way is hookshot locked. Or you could do a bomb jump. It is bomb jumpable. It's just not fun.
Yep. Adilor checking purple chest and getting nothing for his trouble. Going to also buy a potion here. And there's some bombs for Tenit. Ice Palace so far a snooze.
Right. It's. I'm thinking Meyer. Well, I was gonna say I was hedging my bets a little bit by waiting until that chest was picked up, but yeah, it is looking like Meyer will be our next progression in logic.
I think so. I mean, there's only cold stare left at this point in ice.
Or I guess this chest, and then I think we've gotten 2 items so far. And yep, so Cold Stare is going to have our final item. And Tenit is down to 3 hearts, by the way. Now, does have Blue Potion. Just needs to be a little...
Yeah, I'll have to be careful here.
Yeah. Now, does have an option, though, because you can loop around a little bit to be able to pick up a couple fairies kind of on your way down, basically by climbing up a little bit. You can drop down into a pot to get some fairies, and then... do that. That might be the next. That's going to have to be the option.
Because I accidentally pushed the block in the wrong direction here. Oops.
So we're going to go ahead and make lemonade out of lemons. And especially, I mean, the good news is even though you've got Tempered Sword. And choosing not to pick up that second fairy because now you don't have to worry about sword beams, so that's going to be nice.
Yep.
And we're going to be fine on magic, even though we don't have a full magic bar, because Bombos only takes about, what, a quarter of magic?
Something like... Yep, about a quarter.
It takes about that much of magic. And with the Tempered Sword, Cold Stare isn't as bad as it could be.
Yep.
However, Cold Stare does hit like a freight train, so...
Has the potion at the ready, as well as the cape now. Yep.
Right. And yeah, especially using the cape, so... Use the magic while you can. You still have one more hit you can give to Cold Stare as well.
Alright, that's 2 eyes down.
Or if you can save your potion.
That's even better.
Yep, and... So, green pendant. And actually, this does work out well for Tenit because with the mirror can go get the... can go get the
bow and head straight for Pod Eastern and turn the green pendant in 2.
Everything is coming up, Millhouse.
This is great, lol.
And Adilor is going to take that hook shot, though, and you'll see this is a slightly different route. This is going to be a little bit nicer for Adilor, just with that hook shot being able to kind of go through instead of having to kind of double back and worry about that.
Yeah, but that is a great spot for the mirror. Green pendant Cold Stare. No hookshot, no cane, have fun.
At least you have Tempered Sword.
At least there's that.
And actually, this is gonna
plenty of hearts.
And this is actually going to work out really well for Tenit as well. Being able to grab this bow, flute to 5, go back over to the Dark World, and welcome in Raiders from Ricky of Cookery. But yeah, like being able to turn in that green pendant, kind of along this way. These will be a couple checks kind of along the way that are all going to be accessible.
Yeah, a great deal of efficiency to be found here for Tenit. But yeah, welcome in, Raiders. Well, we have ourselves a tournament hard race here, Group AB between Adilor and Tenit. Been an interesting one so far. They are at present hard last locating this mirror that the mirror for that bow you just saw on Lake Island. The mirror is on Cold Stare.
Right, and although it's a good thing that they chose to do this instead of Meyer.
It is, because that was about their only other choice we should add, was Meyer.
Right.
Meyer at that. Hookshot is in the back of Pod, so logically unavailable until that mirror showed up.
Right, so on one hand, Adilor, once getting the mirror and the bow and all that, like this will be... this is going to be a single dip for Tenit. She's going to be able to do this kind of in one go. Adilor, this is going to be a double dip. However, it's also going to be a bit quicker for Adilor to go through as well, having gotten most of the other checks.
So pretty close between the two runners right now. Adilor a little bit ahead, probably, considering that Tenit has to do all of it Pod Eastern, though it will be more efficient for her.
But in the meantime, while our racers are kind of retracing each other's steps, please be sure to give our runners a follow. Adilor, Tenit, agreeing to be restreamed and putting on a great show for us tonight.
As well as to my co-com Sorcerer of Enchanter Tracker Royale with Cheese. Oh, I misspelled your name. That's why your glitch isn't showing up.
Oh, that's okay.
Not sure why I thought there were two O's in Sorcerers. This music is Rayman Legends, actually. Never heard of the game even, but pretty good one, I'd say, as there's the mirror for Adilor.
And actually it does, and just popped up in streaming, it does actually sound like it is Undertale right now.
Oh, interesting. You can choose what music you listen to on the comms page, by the way, Pinch.
Okay.
Mouse over the feed.
And today I learned.
I forgot I maybe should have pointed that out to you. Whip says we get a powder on the right side of Pod. Interesting.
All right, well, there's another fetch quest for us.
More fetch quests. We've got all of them except the book now.
Right, and that's not to say that the fetch quests haven't been productive. For example, that mushroom, for folks who were just tuning in, mushroom turn-in was what got us the boots. Also, for the folks though coming in as well, this was a hard Aga required seed because the Moon Pearl was on Lumberjack Ledge.
Yep.
So, fun times.
Excellent times. It's happy 1 hour, and Adilor has gotten a bow.
All right, and it looks like Adilor is going to go and come back behind and finish off Pod and Eastern. And Adilor does still need to do the Bowlock side of Pod as well, so...
Mrs. Spidey, this... Yes, all randomizers are, by definition, ROM hacks. They change the ROM to change the item locations.
And now Tenit does now have that hook shot as well, so that'll be... so that does actually put... I believe we're now up to item parity at this point.
At least at a quick look at our tracker, we should be, yes, effectively. But yes, in case you've never seen, well, Randomizer, it is, well, exactly what it says on the tin. All the items are shuffled amongst each other, so they got the powder on the right side of Pod earlier instead of off of the magic mushroom, which is where it is in the original game. We got a hookshot in the back of Pod there instead of where it typically is in Swamp Palace, and so on. As well as other odds and ends. Randomizers exist for a wide variety of games, including almost every single main series Zelda game, with the exception of a couple of remakes. I think Spirit Tracks doesn't have a randomizer yet, though I know Phantom Hourglass Rando is in the works. I think the biggest issue with the DS games was a matter of anti-piracy protection, so it took them a while to figure out how to work with that. But I think once PHR is sorted, SPR should not be far behind. I don't think Four Swords games have randos. Most of the spin-offs don't, but almost every other main series Zelda's game does by now. It's pretty neat. ALttPR being one of the oldest.
Yep. And to answer a question, chat.
Many of them here on CSR at various points. In fact, over the weekend we'll have quite a few on feature.
Yep. And yes, to answer your question in chat, we are down to Fire Rod and Kana Samaria.
Yes, we are. Which reminds me, shoutouts to a fire rod locked, a Bobo's locked fire rod today, because that's what it looks like at this point.
Yep.
Because we did just about last location that mirror outside of the front of Meyer.
Right, so we're probably, I'm wondering, and granted, we're going to be seeing a good amount more. We're going to be seeing a good amount more, kind of as we're able to finish up pod, and also Adilor and Tenit are right on each other's heels. Now Adilor is going to take a slight lead, I think, because I can't remember if there was an item. If we already got 3 items before the big key chest in Eastern.
I don't remember. It's been several. It's been more than half an hour since Adilor was in Eastern, so I don't know.
That's fair. But you will see, we do have simultaneous King Helmasaur fights. 17 hammer blows to the head. We'll go ahead and take King Helmasaur down, and just like on Tenet's side, taking care to avoid taking damage. Meanwhile, Adilor right behind. Yep. But does have to be careful. Down to okay, we're good. Down to 4 hearts. I forget how much damage King Helmasaur can deal in one go, but safe to say that 4 might be might be there.
Yep. And how did Adilor catch up? Adilor did pod in Eastern earlier, so I just had to clean it up.
Yeah. And then Tenit also did a couple additional overworld checks as well.
Yep. Boots will at least speed things up a little here for Tenit.
And interestingly enough, both of our racers opting to use a different invincibility item for each of the things. But here's where, because Adilor already did Eastern, so Adilor is just zooming through. Tenit, because we're still 2 items from Go mode, Adilor knows that the answer, those 2 items are not in here. Tenit does not know that yet. Let's see. So we do have, actually at this point, we do have Dark Death Mountain available to us as well.
We do. We have Dark Death Mountain. We have Desert is completable. Swamp is fully available. So how enthusiastic they are about that is probably not much.
Yep. Okay, so it looks like all 3 items were at least early enough on, so while Tenit is a little bit behind, it's only by about 3 rooms.
Yeah.
And while our racers did converge here, from here there's well, I guess you can't finish up Skull Woods quite yet, but there is. Do you go to Meyer Desert? Do you go up Dark Death Mountain? There's plenty of routing available still here.
There is. Because the mountain is density, there's this like desert is progression.
So do you always be clearing crystal dungeons, or... And Adilor is going to go ahead and opt to check out the Meyer Desert area here.
Yeah. Most nights getting a little bit away from Tenit, unfortunately, does finish them off.
And I do also like this from Adilor because Desert's the other 5-6 crystals, so that's going to open up a couple more checks as well.
Yes, it will, since that gets Pyramid Fairy. Desert guaranteed full clearable, since I needed to find the boots a long while ago for that Moon Pearl Lumberjack.
Right, all right, and it looks like Tenit will be following right behind Adilor. Okay, Tenit opting to check Checkerboard Cave here first. Because, yeah, it's right here, and it's a much different mindset when you're in 2 items from go versus 1 item.
Yep, just a hurt piece, and Tenit does decide to pick it up. Not too long with Mirror. His right side desert is nothing of interest.
Yeah, because while desert is completable, it doesn't mean that there's anything good here. All right, and there's another heart piece for Tenit. There are 48 of the heart pieces out. 48 heart pieces in the world. I can't remember how many heart containers we found. I know we found the sanctuary heart, but yeah, Tenit playing a little bit behind at this point.
Yeah, just a little bit. Still quite a close race, but Tenit is slightly behind currently. I'm gonna do a naughty swap, actually.
But there's also probably a good 30-40 minutes left as well. Especially, where is that fire rod? Where is that Cane of Samaria? So this is still, and this is a very close race, and this is a very important race as well for both Tenit and Adilor. If Adilor wins, I believe that does guarantee Adilor advancing to the next stage in the Challenge Cup. That'll put Adilor at 4 wins in the group. If Tenit wins, the group gets fun.
Very fun. I'm gonna post the brackets in chat, as well as in case anyone's curious about the new MSU, we've switched over to Adilor's music for now. We've got ourselves Kirby Superstar now. But yeah, there's the brackets in chat. This is Group AB.
And a little bit of a mirror bonk there.
Yep. Adilor is currently 3-0, Tenit 0-2. Their other 2 group members are 2-2 and 2-3 right now, so far from decided yet. If Adilor wins this, then he secures a spot in brackets. If Tenit wins this, this group could be heading straight for a 4-way tie. I think.
Right. I think it might still be possible. And while Tenit is 0-2, there are only 6 races to run. So Tenit still has another 3 races to run after this one. Adilor will have 2. So there's still going to be plenty to kind of do there. This would not be the end of Tenit's run. However, yeah, this could get spicy. And Adilor is going to go ahead and check out Paradox Cave right now. And yeah, Mountain pretty much is our next play at this point.
We have not a great deal of options. We've already done the atrocious one of Ice Palace.
Right. I guess the spicy option and the flying cabbages and the dead rocks being a little unkind to Tenit, but yeah, but there wasn't anything in Paradox Cave.
Yep. Nothing on Floating Island either.
But Tenit is going to go ahead and show us a pretty efficient climb to be able to clear out not only Paradox Cave, but also kind of the Dark Death Mountain checks here as well, while trying to climb the mountain the fewest number of times. And we had Double Quake today.
Alright, despite getting both other medallions really well, we still needed Bombos, but we don't need Ether.
Yeah, Ether, we might see in the Gauntlet, especially kind of however the seeds go. It can be one of the easier ways to take down the Stalfos room in the Gauntlet. Little slower, but Stalfos just like to scatter on you, so.
Alright, Super Bunny is some bombs and some rubies. Not it.
Yeah. But this is where, so yeah, Tenit is going to go ahead and take that mirror and then climb up Super Bunny Cave from this way. So this is kind of the interesting part. Now let's see what Hookshot Cave has for us today.
Yep. Promptly falls in the hole.
All right, we got a heart container. We've got and the full and the refill while we're at it, the heart refill. But that was it. That was it. So now we still have Spiral Cave and Tower of Hera though.
We do. We have Spiral Cave. We have Tower of Hera. We have the front of Mire, all of Pendant Swamp. Did we ever check Graveyard Ledge?
We have not checked Graveyard Ledge yet, no.
That and 345 are both still at large.
Yeah.
And the pedestal is entirely possible.
and
Someone in chat mentioned that earlier.
And I mean, we already had a required Aghanim seed because Lumberjack Ledge, for the folks coming in to the channel right now, yeah, our Lumberjack Ledge was the Moon Pearl, which is 100% required for the seed. So Aghanim was hard required.
Not just for that, but both Hammer and Mitz were also in the Dark World, just for the extra fun.
Yep, and that looks like there's an item in the... I missed what the... I missed a chest, but does that put an item in the basement?
I think it might, yeah. And Tenit, interestingly, is not heading for Hera just yet. Fluting away, I think this is a play for Swamp. Probably a Pyramid Fairy first. And Voldorm is just a blue key. That is pendant number 2 for Adilor.
And at this point, you probably are starting to think like, I've already got 2 pendants. What's a third?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess if that third is Swamp Palace, then that doesn't feel good at all. And we are going to go ahead and get a coffee break over on Adilor's side. This room here is... we have not had a ped check yet. We do not have a book yet, so...
book was not on K45, which Tenit just checked.
Yep. But yeah,
either of our remaining items could be on ped. Ice Palace, we had Bombos, and it definitely wasn't cane locked. There was a mirror on that.
Okay, and yeah, something could be on ped. It's and actually, I don't mind this from Tenit because these are a bunch of checks that are all. I mean, kind of unfortunately, they're all clustered together and sort of in different directions, even though they're in the same area. But this is... Oh, good. And Tenit remembering that, hey, we already beat Aghanim, so there's a portal to the Dark World just up here. And just a piece of heart over in the big key chest over on Adilor's side, so that is not going to be it. Gonna go ahead and check out Spiral Cave, and then probably leave from there.
Has done everything else on this mountain.
But this is something where, I mean, if Pedestal has a required item, and there's where our golden sword would have been.
Pyramid Fairy, but if Pedestal is required, what?
If Pedestal is required, Adilor is still in a pretty good position, having gotten that. And I think this is a pyramid check, a graveyard check for a Tenit.
I think so. Just trying to do cleanup. Graveyard Ledge is so out of the way. There's no good time to route it in at this point.
Right, especially having already done King's Tomb and checked, and this B being a little bit problematic there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, having already done the King's Tomb, there's no good chance to come back to this. Right,
so gonna go ahead and do that, and yeah, I think Adilor is thinking. Adilor is absolutely thinking Ped at this point, and that is not required over on Tenet's side. So yeah, it's looking like Swamp or Mire is going to be accessible, but I think Tenet's going to go back to. Okay, so Tenet's going to end up going back up to Hera. Unfortunately, not going to be anything. So that is going to give a time advantage to Adilor.
Hey, Speedy Pole, where's the progression? We did see Spike Cave quite a while ago from Tenit. It was something I don't remember.
It was not required.
Pretty much.
I think it was a heart piece, I think.
Something like that. So this was left to be intentionally slightly vague. It is most likely Red Cane or Fire Rod, but theoretically we could get a Paradox book, for instance, on the pad. Or somewhere else.
I mean, and you know, we've already had an Aga Seed. Why not a Ped Seed as well?
Yeah, speaking of, did we ever see Magic Bat? I just realized.
We have not. And nice bomb Harapot there for Tenit. Adilor chose to do a super speed strat for that. There are a couple ways to activate that Harapot right there. It is pretty incredible, kind of the different techniques to use in order to basically get to the top of Tower Hera as quickly as you can.
Yeah, Magic Bat, I realized, is a check that both of them are currently leaving behind. None of us know what Tenit is playing as. It is a character with bright yellow, either hair or headwear, I still can't tell. I think hair now. As well as what looks to be dark blue clothing. I can't tell you anything beyond that, it's so pixelated.
Yeah, but down goes Moldorm over on Tenet's side. And Adilor setting up a bomb setup for Diver down here. So to clip into that railing and walk on water. Ooh, now this is spicy. Tenit is opting to check what this item is.
Tenit skipped picking up that pendant as well.
So this could either save save a little bit of time. Oh, yeah, this is spicy. And Adilor giving us left side swamp. We found a red thing, and we found, but it's the wrong red thing.
Yeah.
Also more money.
skipping the pendant. I don't know why you don't just pick it up at this point. You're running lower and lower on checks. Your other option besides this is basically your last pendant. Like, their options are not good right now. No big key either, so cannot do that chest right now.
But we'll go ahead and see. And again, this, like, Tenit, she could still, yeah, let's see where Tenit goes from here. And this does look like swamp.
Yeah, so. It's the most dense location left in the game.
Right. Although, swamp's been empty so far.
It has. I mean, it's this, Magic, Bat, and Mire.
And Mire.
And there's the big key. So I have not been counting. I think we've seen both map and compass. Yeah, they were in 2 of the first chests. So that is an item on the big chest.
And it looks like
have to go back for it.
And to answer a long-running mystery, it does. Thank you, chat, for researching. It does sound like Tenit may be racing as Zatch Bell.
Yeah, looking it up, it does look like it. The character Zatch from Zatch's Bell, which is apparently a Japanese manga series.
Yep, I vaguely remember. I vaguely remember it. Like it's been a while.
Never heard of it until today.
All right, and there is the last puffball for Argus down on Adilor's side.
Oh, and apparently there's a red book in this series that matches the bunny sprite too, which thanks. Argus, ain't good.
Yep, and there is that Pendant of Wisdom. The red Pendant of Wisdom, which is, that's what it is in Link to the Past. That's one of my favorite facts, honestly, about Link to the Past, where those two are different from how the colors play out in the rest of the series.
Yeah. Because this is the first game where they really color-coded the different aspects of the Triforce, and then it would not be until the next game that they switched the two.
Right. Yeah, because I guess before this, we only really cared about the Triforce of Courage, right? For Zelda 1.
Oh no, Triforce of Wisdom for Zelda 1, Triforce of Courage didn't exist till Zelda 2. Big chest.
Oh, okay.
More, nothing. Jeez, game. So, okay, Adilor's gonna do some overworld cleanup now. This is key 45. Okay, yeah, Wisdom for Zelda 1, Courage for Zelda 2.
And power just Ganon. I guess there's no, like, Ganon's plight or Ganon's thing.
Not especially. I mean, power has always been associated with Ganon. It's the other two that have been varied.
Yep. And Tenit is also going to be doing a bomb diver down here. And I think, yeah, Adilor is going to go ahead and do some of the same checks that Tenit made both with K45 and checking Pyramid Fairy.
Yep.
Yeah.
This race here, just looking for that final. What is their progression?
Yep. And yeah, this is all right. All right. So Tenit having a little bit of a trouble getting the bomb set up for diver down. Looks like got it. There we go. And Adilor getting the news that, hey, you know, if you didn't have temper before, you'd have it now.
He's flashing the chest. It being 2 items from go, and now we're at 27 minutes into an open heart seed. And we're progressively running out of checks. Chat verifying the lore. Thank you, Ricky of Kukuria, fellow race streamer, and another ALttPR runner, saying, "Oh yeah, Zelda wants his skin solely Triforce with power, and Zelda's was with wisdom." So yeah, those two finished in Zelda 1, that's what I thought. Oh yeah, Magic Bat, which I think might genuinely be the only other check left in the game besides the Friend of Meyer.
And Pedestal.
And Pedestal. Not exactly fantastic options here.
Not gonna feel good, right? Well, and this is unfortunate for Tenit. Oh, and there's the fire rod.
There it is, Magic Bat. Oh boy.
So I'm a little curious about the save and quit there. Next up, I would probably go towards Skull Woods.
I was gonna say, I'm surprised Adilor didn't just run right on over there. Gonna go buy a potion? Okay, but yeah, Fire Rod doesn't do much, and in fact, actually, Skull Woods, we've already seen both items in it.
And that is a good point. Mothula is Mothula.
Yeah, that is true. So, potion acquired, off to Skull Woods. But that is true, that the Fire Rod actually does nothing for them. Besides beating Skull Woods, and we've already seen both items in here. They did that a long time ago. I don't remember either of them, which tells me they were both completely useless.
They weren't good. But this is going to be a nice route from Adilor, because Adilor is going to be able to pull Ped and be able to take down Skull Woods at the same time. So yeah, Mothula first or Ped first. And you're going to be doing both, I think, at this point, because Adilor already did get the both items out.
One of which was the Cane of Burna. Thank you, Royale, for reminding me. But yeah, you have to check Ped here. It's this in the front of Meyer for 1 to 2 items, which is.
Oh, so Tenit checked the front of Skull Woods. Adilor hasn't. So this is going to cost Adilor a little bit of time here by making these additional checks.
He needs a key. He has the burn already. He just needs a key from here.
Ooh. That was
Because the Burna was in front of Skull Woods, which I'd forgotten, and Adilor does have that already, so he did do the front.
You're right. And Tenit does go ahead and get that pendant.
Mm.
But this is, yeah, we'll see. We'll see if Ped is required. And does Tenit go to, and because Tenit would have to go do Hera again, does Tenit gamble on Meyer?
It might, because it's such a long hike back up the mountain for Hera. It's gonna feel so bad for Tenit too if it is. And at this point, pretty quick moth fight.
Yep.
Thanks to the big teeth. That is crystal number 5 for Adilor.
Yep. So we'll see if Tenit goes to. Let's see where Tenit goes from here. I'm gonna check. Looks like Magic Bat, which will get the Fire Rod. So we'll kind of see on Adilor's side. We're gonna be getting a blind pet pool. What do we think we have?
I voted book.
I'm gonna go junk.
Verdict is junk.
Oh my goodness.
So it's a French vanilla cane. Or vanilla.
Oh, that is disgusting. Well, although
is it for Spike Cave?
Oh no. Although so this could be a time save for Tenit. If Tenit goes to Meyer instead of reclimbing for Hera.
Decides if it's Hera, if it's the pet, I'm losing this one, yeah. Oh man, because It has to be Book or Kate in the front of Meyer. I think we've seen everything else and every other item that can lock a check.
Right. And although look at the bright side, you know, Adilor only had 3 bombs and now has 6, so it's not the like, oh, I already had 10 bombs, so even though I pulled these 3 bombs, I'm just gonna toss them away.
You're technically correct, yes.
And technically it's the best kind. All right, so let's see where let's go ahead and see where okay, so Tenit is going to go ahead and pick up that key, so we'll be able to avoid let's see. Oh, where's Adilor?
He should know Thieves' big chest was just a small key. Unless he miscounted.
Did Adilor... Yeah, Adilor did Smith Chain, right?
Yeah.
Or just the front part of Smith Chain?
Well, I thought it was did the
Graveyard Ledge.
Ah, yes, Graveyard Ledge. I was like, he's done Smith Chain. I hope he counted items and thieves correctly. He's seen Bumper Ledge.
Yeah. No, and that's the... Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, that's the joy of like, okay, which we're an hour 34 minutes into the seed, and it's like, okay, who's done what? And using one of those bombs obtained from the all right, and Mothula going down on Tenet's side.
Yep. And we'll see where she goes next, because they've seen everything else in the game. I am a little confused why Adilor put back in for a health refill.
I wonder if, because if Adilor goes to Meyer, and Meyer's a last location for Adilor.
It is.
Tenit.
Tenit. Miscounting items here. I know she saw both in the front earlier. It was the blue K did something forgettable.
I think it was arrows or a bloopy. It wasn't anything.
Yeah. But this remains close. This is a hard last location, Meyer, for both runners at this point. Outside of the pad.
Ooh.
Where are you going, Tenit?
Oh. Yeah. And at this point, Tenet's main hope is to... Okay. Okay, so...
realize what she's not doing.
Right. So if Tenit goes to Meyer, this is very close. If Tenit reclimbs the mountain, that gives a lot of time to Adilor.
Yeah.
So that's what we're down to, folks. Question of where do we flute to?
That is 6.
And it's Meyer. Okay, so this is going to... this is a race.
This is close. The Tenit is a little bit behind getting into Meyer, but it's not by much.
And at this point, within we're within 2 minutes, and yeah, we're within 2 minutes, and this is where GT and still Turtle Rock to a degree that's gonna come into play here. Tenit did pick up both items out from Hera, I believe.
Yeah. For her, she chose to skip the pendant earlier, which is fine, we know, and at this point she is just gonna take the risk and it's nothing because it's such a time loss to go back that she's gonna assume if I have to get back there, it's a time loss as there's the cane, Compass Chest of Meyer.
And at
game.
And at 1:36:56, Adilor is in go mode.
French Vanilla Cane, everyone. What location?
At least, well, I mean, Adilor is doing cutscene chest, but at least it wasn't cutscene chest.
At least it wasn't cutscene chest or vanilla.
Oof.
I believe the first ALttPR seed I ever saw was a vanilla cane seed. And of course, it was my first time seeing ALttPR. I had no idea that Vanilla Cane is horrendous in ALttPR. And then, oh, well, what do you know? As we find a Vanilla Big Key.
Well, and
it had to have been Cane or Book. We've seen every other item that can lock it checked. The only major item left, period, is the silver arrows.
All right, not quite sure what why Tenit killed that, but we'll go ahead and continue through as Adilor makes his way down towards the basement. And the one reason why we need the Cane of Samaria in Mire for that right there.
That one switch.
Now routing could still come into play for Tenit, because Tenit needs to go to cutscene chest. And is
go for it.
Yep, so that will put Tenit into getting that big key. We're gonna be good.
Yep.
However, Adilor is like half a mire ahead at this point, so I think this is going to come down to GT routing and then execution as well. But we've got a good race on our hands, folks. And that's the great thing about having powder in Mire, because you can get yourself a health refill right before. And Adilor going ahead and doing sword spins. Does have to be a little cautious, but gets done the first part just fine. Very well done. And at 139.45, that is crystal number 6 for Adilor.
Yep. Getting that crystal as Tenit heads for the back.
So at this point, we have the only item that can be helpful is the silver arrows at this point. And our racers, especially with the tempered sword, we're not going to need those silvers. I mean, not going to turn them down if they pop up, but yeah, this has been quite a seed. How about it, Star?
It really has been. First that Moon Pearl and Lumberjack, that Mirror on Cold Stare, and then that Fire Rod and Cane. That Fire Rod's been available for ages too. That powder was just sitting in pod.
Right. I mean, and it's taken a little bit of time, but yeah, it's and that's the thing about randomizer, you know, it's all right, and two different strats between Tenit and Adilor here. Tenit opting to just swing that sword, and as long as you're swinging the sword, you don't take any, you don't lose magic.
Yep.
All right, so Tenet's gonna be about a minute and 40 seconds behind. And yeah, it's not needed, but it could help a lot, especially if silvers are like on the right hand side. Someone does right hand. Yeah, silvers can still come into play, especially if ice armors are in the mix at some point, and certainly if Ganon is at play. Tenit going and getting a potion refill or bombs. Okay. I guess that is a very quick place to get some bombs.
That is. It was running low, I think, so good play. You do need a few for TR, potentially, as well as some for GT.
Yeah,
More fun when you get there and realize, what-oh.
Yeah, I know. I've definitely had to leave GT to go dig for arrows, at least.
It has happened. Minor note that Tenit did not actually open TR earlier, so we'll have to do that.
Right. And gotta watch out for the chain chomps in this room. Do a lot of damage. And again, we are in. We only have green mail. We're not going to pick up blue or red mail. So everything in here is going to do a lot of damage, or one hard damage, and also take away your magic. Take your pick.
Yeah. Alright. Going to steal the key, maybe, or no? Are they on the big key yet? I lost track a little.
I don't believe so. So let's. No, they hadn't. Not until there.
I was like, Adilor, are you gonna steal the key? But nope, can't do that if the big key is there.
Although it's a good, it's especially, it's still a good thing to know about, because you can get a bit out of just kind of thinking about it, and like, oh no, there's just thinking about it, and like, oh no, I forgot, like I thought I already had it, and you're going to the exits, like, why can't I get into this room?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so Tenit did fall a little bit behind going to get those bombs as well, so we'll go ahead and see what we've got. Do you think we'll find silver arrows this seed, Star? All right, as Adilor is making his way over towards Trinex. Yeah, that would probably be yeah, silver arrows on Laser Bridge could probably see that. We do need to check Laser Bridge though for a key, and then there's the key. But yeah, especially for this kind of mode, having powder is a nice thing to have. But Adilor running a little low on health there.
Yeah.
And will in fact go ahead and try to. All right, does go ahead and try to get that powder, so opting to get some health. All right, and here's the Trinex fight.
Ooh, does get hit by the ice head, but takes the 2 down fairly quick.
Yep, and just don't get hit twice by the Trinex head, by I guess the third Trinex head.
There we are.
Well done, and that will be crystal number 7. And I think it's time to think about some numbers. What do you think, Star? Numbers, say,
Yes,
between 1 and 22?
There are 21 checks and 1 chest and 1 torch in the basement can star. Quickly, chat. Put the number in between 1 and 22. Where is that big key? My guess is 14.
All right, I'm going to guess lucky number 8. And, Tenit. Did Tenit miss a key?
Oh
no.
Tenit. That feels bad. I don't know which keys she's missing.
I'm not sure.
I don't know either. Guessing game is closed, chat.
But let's go ahead and see Adilor. Let's see what is in Hope Room.
The book!
There's our book. And a key, so we can continue. So
she skipped the pokey.
But she saved the portal, so at least she could get back to the halfway point, at least.
There is that. She is already behind, but
that feels bad. All right, and getting Adilor getting a little bit of swag there. Gonna get chest 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yep.
4, 5, and 6. So the answer is on the left side. Uh-oh. Very quick thinking to bonk across. And grab that key because you can get into trouble without that key.
Yes, you can. As you see, check number 7, just some arrows on the torch. We are also highly likely to find silver arrows in here, considering we saw every other check in the game.
Right. Well, I guess it could be on a tablet. I guess if it's a Light World
tablet, could be on the rest of Laser Bridge, could be Mimic Cave. The options are not stellar. 8, 9, 10, and 11 are not it.
And on the other hand, we've got a lot of keys now. We got a lot of small keys now.
Yes, we do. Yes, there is a chest in the tile room, but it is technically skipped till the end because it takes a long time. And speed is the name of the game in randomizer racing. This is, after all, a race to the finish.
Oops.
Tile room having this key always is the giggles.
Right. As someone in chat and watching the race, as someone running a race with tile room, it feels bad.
It does.
Well, I guess unless that's the third one that you check. And number 13?
That would have been check 12.
12.
11
number
in Dark Magician, 12 with us there.
Wait, 12 would have been the spinny room, the
so 13.
fire.
Right. In which case, Morgai and Kinnison both guessed 13. GG says Tenit finally gets her 7th crystal in hour 51, which is saying something in open hard.
Yep. All right, and actually a nice magic drop there on Adilor's side. Especially as you're going into this gauntlet, you're going to be able to find a little bit of magic a little bit later. But the more magic you have, the better, the nicer.
Oh, absolutely.
Very nice dash through all of those spikes. Opting to use a little bit of magic there just to be able to cape and dash through there. Pretty nice use of magic. as we begin the Gauntlet. And the first room of the Gauntlet doing some damage to Adilor there. This here and taking down the second room very nicely. That's I don't know. The Stalfos room is always pretty tough. Where's that blue? Isaac also not exactly doing any favors.
I'm not going to do Dark Magician's chance here, it looks like.
Ooh, but down to 3 hearts. This is not a...
Make that 2. Oh, and this is the shot. The BMO's getting in the way. This...
Oh! That's
bad.
Right. Now Tenit still has a good amount of catching up to do because doing Dark Magician strats, Dark Magician strats are not going to pay out. But that's time that you don't want to be giving back. And yeah. That's tough. And separately, Tenet's running a little low on magic as well. Does get past that though, so we'll be good. And also Adilor down to 5 hearts already. We will probably see the refill room from Adilor this time.
I think so, yeah.
And we'll be going into the Gauntlet.
Yep, not going to take the safety room. Immediately taking a hit and another one.
So tournament hard. Okay, it does have the potion out. We'll go ahead and burn that blue potion. I like that call, especially even if you don't find silvers, you'll be able to do at least with Ganon and Tempered, it won't be as bad. But that doesn't feel good.
No, it does not.
And there's the big key over on Tenet's side. So, this is, I mean, this is still Adilor's race to lose. This is interesting. Oh, and getting that fairy.
Using that bug net, putting it to good use that they found good long time ago.
Yep, finally paying off, and that is going to provide some good peace of mind there. I mean, it does take a bit of time, like to get revived, but yeah, that will. 7 seconds is a lot better than reclimbing.
It is. Adilor really does not want to reclimb. Can't afford to reclimb right now, for that matter.
Yep. And that's where Tournament Hard really does impact things, because again, we have as many safeties as we're going to get this seed. With 2 invincibility items, and the fighter shield.
Yep.
And even then, I don't see Swabble with that with the fighter shield. I don't know if it got eaten up or just never picked up.
I know Adilor had it earlier.
All right, it got eaten up, and just having enough magic there. We'll go ahead and check what these items are here, just in case scrounge up silvers, or frankly, those arrows could also come into play if the silver arrows are coming up.
Yeah. Yeah, I have. Though I don't think it's quite enough. That key in TR really feels bad right now for Tenit.
Yeah, that would make this a very close race.
It really would.
But down goes Moldorm 2 on Adilor's side.
There's silvers.
No silvers, so go ahead and see where we're gonna know what general area they're in, and at this point it's either Light World or Ganon's Tower or Laser Bridge.
Yeah, we've seen everything else.
All right, and a nice initial Ganon. Oh, does take a just accidentally hit Aghanim, but that's still two hits right there. And a third, so 2 + 1.
Some good old econometry. These patterns suck.
Ooh, but Tenit getting bullied a little bit by the moblins there. But down goes Aghanim on Adilor's side. Also, I'm just realizing Tenet's going to have to do a magic refill in the next room.
Yeah.
All right, and Adilor drops into the Ganon fight. And Ganon's trying to teach us something. Ganon, don't do that. I do appreciate, though, the creativity of all the folks who submitted quotes for Ganon, for Blind, for all these as well.
Oh yeah, the Triforce texts too are pretty fun. I really had to laugh at the Triforce text on the Hour 52 open heart I commented earlier this week. I'm surprised this was outdoing that in length, by the way. This isn't even going to sub 2. But the Hour 52 open heart I commented earlier this week had the Triforce text of Long Seed. I'd say so, yes, thanks. Hour 52 open heart is pretty long.
Yep, thanks, game. And it was on one of the tablets.
Are we not surprised?
All right, and spin to win for Adilor. Does have a good amount of hearts. Oh! Oh! This got spicy.
That is a Ganon fall.
That is, we got to phase 4. Too bad we gotta fight Ganon again. So Tenit is still in the Aga 2 fight, so is still a little bit behind, but
this is close.
This is a race.
There we are. Gaga 2 is down for Tenit.
Yeah. And also, it is going to be a different Phase 3 teleport pattern for Ganon as well with that fall. You're only guaranteed a consistent number of teleports the first time. Now, it could be a better teleport pattern, don't get me wrong. It is worse placement for Ganon, though, at least in this Phase 2 initially. All right, and Tenit is in the Ganon fight. Oh my goodness.
This is close.
Yep, and there's Phase 3 for Adilor. All right, and actually, so far the teleport pattern's doing better. Well, okay, never mind.
Maybe not. As you say that.
Just a minor commentator's curse. But that was still pretty quick, though. But this is extremely close between the two.
Yes, it is.
All right, and... All right, Adilor spinning to win, as there is Phase 4 for Tenit as well. We have a race to 12 spins. All right, nice setup on Tenet's side, but Adilor does have about, 6 spins ahead?
Something like that. Actually, thinking about Silver's location, this chance discussing, aren't both Ether Tablet and Mimic Cave considered Death Mountain?
Oh, you might be right. So...
Almost Tablet?
All right, and we're getting close to the end, and Ganon goes down on Adilor's side. And
As Tenit taking a potion here.
Yep, was almost out of magic. And get your GGs in chat as Adilor is about to cross and win the seed and does cross. GG to Adilor, who takes first place in this race. With
Going to secure a spot in brackets too.
Yep, with an official time of 2:03:28.
And it hot on his heels. There we are.
Yep, and right afterwards, get your GGs in chat as Tenit is about to cross that bridge.
Nail-bitingly close race at the end.
And that is it. Tenit finishes in second place with an official time of 2 hours, 3 minutes, 59 seconds. Ladies and gentlemen, that is 31 seconds between the two.
31 seconds on the 2-hour race. GG's.
Yep.
That's about as close as it gets on a race this long, generally. So we will get both runners in for an interview right now. Hello, Adilor and Tenit. GG's.
Hello, GG's. What a seed.
GG's.
Yeah, what a seed. That was incredibly entertaining to watch. Especially just the different decisions that y'all made throughout the seed. And then at the end of it, 31 seconds.
Yeah, after my Gauntlet debacle and falling again, I was getting a bit worried. I'm like, oh man, I've lost a lot of time here. This could be bad. Turned out it was really close. I was like, oof, jeez. But yeah, the item placements, very, very, very interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. But actually, I have a question. I don't remember. Was the hook shot in the pod basement or harmless hallway?
It was in Hellway, which means it was 6 key locked, which means it wasn't locked. Yeah, that early game logic was interesting because I'm like, all right, we're gonna go to pod without a bow. We'll see what we find. I get the hook shot in the back, and I'm like, all right, that can't lead to the bow. And I'm like, whittled it down. I'm like, wait, what's left? Oh, catfish. All right, so I go to catfish. I'm like, all right, the mirror's here. It's the glove. I'm like, oh, well, now I have to keep track of logic more. Thanks.
Well, and even from the get-go, because Tenit checked Lumberjack Ledge super early, so knew, oh, well, we've got an Aga seed.
Yeah, my policy on Lumberjack checks is usually kind of like, if the boots are early enough, I'll look at it when I'm in the area. But yeah,
I always do it as part of my opening route. That was an interesting one. At least you know it's required early then, in my case.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw that and I'm like, ooh, that's tasty. Well, I guess I'm going to go do Aghanim now just so I can have that and then continue trying to figure out what the progression is. Because it was still pretty thin even after getting Pearl.
Right. I don't know. I happened to go to, like you said, you went to Pod without the bow first. I happened to go to Catfish right after Moon Pearl. And I waited really long to do Thieves Town even because I was looking for the hammer. And even after Thieves Town, I was like, I don't really want to go to Pod, especially when I know the bow is right there. So I actually did Ice Palace first. So I felt really good about getting the mirror early, but I completely blanked on Hookshot being 6 key locked.
Oh yeah, by the time I got to Ice, it was Skull was out of items, Thieves was done, I'd done all the Smith Chain, Pod and Eastern were as clear as they could be. I was just like, you know what, I guess I'm just going to Ice now, because that seems like it. But right when I got the hammer, I was like, oh, I guess it's time for Ice Palace, isn't it? Like, yeah, that kind of makes sense. Let's go. Sure enough.
Yeah, of course, Cold Stare has like a required item.
Yeah, you can't even just like dip into ice. You literally have to go all the way down to find the last item on the boss.
Yep.
Of course.
Right. Well, and then and Tenit, you did a great job of routing without the hook shot because yeah, Adilor, you had the hook shot going through Ice Palace. Tenit didn't have it yet. Didn't do that until it was in Logic. So.
Oh yes,
also
you would
made
have
things
had
interesting.
you would have had to have done the right side bomb jump then probably.
Yep.
I skipped over that because I didn't want to get locked into that room, and so just in case I doubled back up the stairs.
Okay, yeah, that's fair actually. Yeah.
So if I got locked out of the room, I probably was just not going back in.
Yeah, that would have been extra bad. Yeah.
But it was incredibly close. Like and yeah. So and actually, so Tenit. I'm sorry, Tenit. Walk us through the pokey in Turtle Rock.
Oh no, yeah, that.
I don't even, did I walk right through it? Or like, did I not pick up the key after it dropped it? Because I don't even remember, because I just got to the door and it was, I couldn't open it, and I was like, I must have skipped one of the keys, but that doesn't make sense. I've never skipped a key before. But,
Oh no.
Yeah, Adilor, unfortunately, Tenit, for one reason or another, didn't have a pokey key and had to backtrack. I'm not sure it would have been enough, but this race would have been even closer without that. That just felt bad.
Yeah. Overall, we did actually have a question in chat. And one we had since the get-go, Tenit.
Yeah.
Is your sprite Zatchbell?
Oh yeah. Yeah. It is.
Cool. Did you happen to make it?
Yeah. I made it like a few months ago. I was working on it. Yeah.
Interesting, because none of us recognized it.
Right, like we're looking at the sprite preview on the Link to the Past randomizer site. It's like, huh, this is a new sprite, and then just we did get a couple folks in chat identify that. Oh yeah, that's Zatchbell, especially with the bunny sprite with as the book.
Right. Yeah.
Well done.
Thanks.
But yeah, so Adilor, like you definitely had a bit more because actually what was kind of going through your mind, kind of thinking about, like, because you did get you got Hera, you got Ice, you got Swamp, so kind of what was how did it feel kind of with going to Pet at that point?
That was just it was going to be then or never, because I'm like, all right, I just got the fire rod and I have on my pendants. I may as well just go back to I'm going to go to Skull, clear it, and then I'm like, I'm just going to pull it while I'm here. I don't care if there's nothing here. I don't have a book. I'm just going to grab it because I'm not going to leave it behind. At that point, I'm just like, where is the thing? So it was then or never. Like, you're never going to have a more convenient time to pull it.
That's true. Especially, I mean, you've got Skullwoods right there anyway, so. And of course, then, answer ended up being French vanilla Misery Mire.
Yeah. I really wanted it to be vanilla because the big key was vanilla. I wanted it in the big chest of all things. That would have been just the actual icing on the cake.
I mean, it was already fun enough, like having to do cutscene chest. But yeah.
Oh,
All right.
I was just gonna. I just had a question about the pendant skip. At that point, I was kind of worried that I was trying to remember if Hookshot was 6 key locked, in which case, and since the mountain was empty, I was like really worried that like this was actually completely out of logic. But then at the same time, I was like, if it's not at this point, it might just be Swamp Palace. I wasn't even I highly doubted it was Ped just because Swamp Palace still had a lot of items, and I was worried that it was just going to be either Fire Rod or cane in mire anyway. So I just figured it wasn't going to be Ped.
Mhm.
Yeah, we were kind of curious about that, and it ended up and that ended up working out. But yeah, it was definitely if Ped was required, that was going to be tough.
Yeah, I figured it would be fast to get it anyway because I already killed Moldorm, but it was just the pennant would just be there. I think I could just grab it and go back. It would
Yeah.
feel bad, but like I wouldn't have to, if it's not, I save time by not having the cutscene. If it's there, I just pick it up again with like Harapod or something.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Yeah, this one was fun. I mean, despite the item placements, it was fun to play. I personally enjoyed the kind of the neat part of like, okay, I have this hook shot, but I need to make sure I'm not doing anything this hook shot lock because like I know the mirror is in front of this because the bow is in front of it, and I'm like, you could just go around and do other things with the hook shot, but I'm like, the mirror is so important. Like, I really want to just chase that down so that I can then like do Pod Eastern because they're both crystals, and I can wrap those up and then maybe find the rest of just kind of let it fall in place from there. Yeah.
Right, and it already didn't feel great just with because the fire. I mean, both the fire rod and the Cane of Samaria both being kind of those were the last two items that y'all were looking for, and there's almost always something in Swamp Palace except Pendant Swamp, except apparently the seed where there wasn't.
Yeah, no kidding. But it's like 6 items in Swamp. How can you not go for that? There's so much stuff there. There's so many opportunities for nothing.
Right. I mean, you got a lot more rupees, At least.
Yeah.
I could have bought so many more potions to cram in my one bottle, one at a time.
Yeah, no kidding.
Don't let anyone tell you that's not the hardest part of this mode. The one bottle and no half magic, that's the hardest part of this mode, absolutely.
Oh yeah. Well, and I am glad for both of you that at least Tempered Sword was pretty early on, because I'm Master Sword, even Master Sword Trinex is not fun.
It's not great, especially when you're no half magic and you gotta be it takes a lot of magic to get through that fight, even if you're really on point with it. You'd like the vanilla sword? That was cool.
Yeah, that was fun.
And then I guess our bow was on one of the tablets, huh, at that point.
I think it was Bombo's tablets, since both Ether and Mimic Cave would have been.
Yeah, Ether is still considered Death Mountain, isn't it? Mimic Cave. Yeah, it is just straight up Bombo's tablet. Yeah, we were never finding that. Oh well.
Yeah. Oh no, that you were definitely not getting book from GD to go all the way to Bombo's tablet.
Not a chance.
It looks like your final collection rates were 172 and 180. Well, you might not surprised.
Yeah, that was a seat in which you can very easily get almost everything.
Yeah, those are about as high rates as you're going to get in Key Sanity generally, without Key Sanity.
I was tempted earlier on to like, what if I just dipped like caneless mire just because like, haha, funny. Maybe there's something here. Turns out it would have been an excellent play, but like, it's caneless mire is always usually just a bad idea. And I'm like, I don't know. I don't think I need to be spicy right now. I feel like I'm in an okay place. Like my early game felt great. I'm like, oh yeah, I felt like I was just fine. I don't need to make crazy plays.
Yeah, that was a. Yeah, the item placements were definitely pretty interesting. Actually, Adilor, because I know you had done the qualifiers. Do you feel like that those helped kind of with the routing, with the idea that, well, it's tournament hard, so it's either going to be Catfish or Graveyard Ledge for something required.
Yeah, basically. I was trying really hard for it to not be Caneless Mire because I'm like, no, it's probably just I probably just isolated it somewhere. Like I'm gonna check Grave Ledge before I go there, and no, it's just actually Caneless Mire. Oh well. But yeah, no, there's a potentially some thoughts of like, those qualifiers did some things. I might have to. Maybe this mode is cursed, but no, it's just No.
I mean, I would second that the mode itself is cursed. But yeah. So and then Tenet, because I don't think you ran qualifiers. Kind of, was this your first tournament hard race?
Um, second. I had a match earlier with it was with Dark Wolf. That was tournament hard. Um, yeah, so this would be my second one. Oh, maybe fourth plus practice, but yeah.
So, because we definitely did notice that you picked up a lot of heart pieces as well. I think it's 32 according to your end screen.
Oh yeah, well, yeah. I don't normally, do these on blue mail all the way, or not blue mail, green mail all the way. So more hearts compensates for the mail difference. Yeah.
It's definitely fair. And yeah, there were the green mail is honestly it just feels bad.
And it does.
I don't mind it so much personally, but then I also I'm kind of used to it, especially from playing like last year when it was literally the entire tournament was stand hard, and we had at least for the qualifiers. I mean, I got used to it from quals, and I play some relatively kind of mixed settings, and sometimes it's difficult. And I end up on hard pool or whatever, so it's like it's not terrible, but yeah, I don't think it specifically got me killed at any point, except for Gauntlet. My Gauntlet was I don't know. I think sometimes Gauntlet 1's RNG is just really weird, and it'll throw you off, and I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing here anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Gauntlet's that's a tough one. Yeah, Gauntlet can be pretty tough, especially because you were definitely going kind of more of an arrow kind of strategy. I think we saw you were hovering over your potion like for your first trip up. Kind of were you thinking like, okay, if I take a death now, like at least I still have it for later for the Ganon fight.
I was thinking in Gauntlet 4 there, I'm like, okay, if I can kill this guy and get to the next room, Gauntlet 5 is easy, it's free. And then I can heal on the thing and be okay and not have to burn my potion now. But I did not realize that the lower left Vmos was pointing directly at me and ready to snipe the moment my menu was gone. That was I was risking it for the biscuit, and it did not pay off.
Yeah.
Although the second time up, we were glad that like you got that fairy just in case, and so that probably had a little bit of peace of mind, like because I mean a second climb up, but a third one would just be less than ideal.
It was extra frustrating, like having to burn the potion immediately, because I'm just like, I get into Gauntlet 1 and I'm like, all right, I can do it this time, and I'm like, it just still goes really weird, and the Zazaks are both on top of me, and I'm like, okay, I'm almost dead already. I just have to heal now, and then I'm like, it still felt weird, but at least I got through it that time.
Yeah, and you got through, and Ganon went down, and yeah, crossed the bridge. So that does put you at 4-0, and I believe that puts you at advancing to the brackets.
Yay, brackets! Yay!
Congrats.
Yep, and then you still have 3 more races as well. You still have 3 more races, correct?
Yeah, 3 more.
All right, so best of luck to both of you. Any final thoughts on the seed?
I guess I want to say thanks for the restream and commentary and tracking. I really appreciate it. It's always fun to be on restream, so thanks.
Yeah, nothing further from me. I think I've said all that I need to say about this seed.
Yeah, thanks, guys and GGs. Any last thoughts, Finch, before I take us out?
Yeah, thank you, Star, commentating. Thank you, Royale with Cheese, for tracking, keeping us honest. And thank you, viewers, for watching this along with us. And, for every single seed, chat wins. And please be sure to follow our runners, commentators, trackers. And yeah, have a great night. Star, your final thoughts.
All right, so you covered most of it. So thank you for watching, all. GG's to our two runners. Good luck to Adilor and Tenit for the rest of the group's matches, as well as Adilor. We'll see you in brackets. Hopefully, maybe we'll see you there as well, Tenit. I don't think it's quite the end of the road for you. Still got quite a few matches left in your group, though. Definitely going to be interesting to see how it shakes out. Coming up ahead on the CSR schedule, we've got a relatively quiet weekend at CSR. Mostly just our weekly races, but we do have two more Link to the Past Randomizer Challenge Cup matches. Tomorrow, starting off the day bright and early, we will have at 11 Eastern a Group B match. The first of a doubleheader between Quizble and Liam Atlas will be here on ZSR Main. We've also got a few weekly races, a Skyward Sword Randomizer co-op tournament match between the German Bingo Lords versus Ragtag Yag. And on Sunday, we will also have another Challenge Cup match Group N between Iwola Koala and Super Rando Brothers. But that shall be it for us here today. Let's see. We're going to go over and say hi to Danny Music. He is playing a Link to the Past randomizer seed of some type. Not quite half an hour in. See how he's doing, and wish him luck. Thanks for watching, all. We'll see you next time.
Oh, and make sure to follow the Zelda Speedruns channels. Zelda Speedruns and Zelda Speedruns 2, 3, 4.
Yep. Thanks, all.